This video is brought to you by soccerpro.com. Be sure to visit soccerpro.com for all the latest soccer gear at everyday low prices with no membership fees. Don't forget to use coupon code SR4U at checkout for $10 off a $75 purchase, plus free shipping within the US. Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, and today I'm going to be bringing you a striking tutorial, more specifically striking the ball with the laces. A lot of you guys were really happy with the juggling tutorial that I made. I'll leave an annotation in the top left corner if you do want to check that out. But as far as the tutorials goes, let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, and make sure you guys support this video with a like or a favorite if you do like seeing these tutorials. I enjoy making them for you guys, and as long as you guys like to see them and I see that you guys are supporting them, I will definitely keep making them. So like I said, let me know what you want to see other than this in the comments down below. But as far as striking the ball is concerned in general, it's probably one of the most difficult skills, simply because there's so many elements that have to come together at the same time to create a really good strike. That's why you see so many misses of the net, simply because it's really hard to get that really powerful strike with accuracy while keeping the ball low, while keeping the ball at a really good pace. It's really difficult. There's so many elements, and if one of them is wrong, generally you're going to miss the net or misstrike the ball. And hopefully I'm going to break down in this video exactly all the little points as to striking the ball. So hopefully this will help you guys improve your strike, or even if you're just learning how to play, this should help you out. The first thing I'm going to talk about, mainly because a lot of you guys are going to comment on this if I don't mention it, is the shoes on your feet. Like any soccer skill, whether it be juggling, dribbling, running, anything that could possibly be, your shoes really have very, very little impact on how you are going to perform and your ability to do that particular skill. As far as striking the ball goes, I realize that there are power boots out there on the market, such as a Laser, which is kind of a power accuracy, whatever you want to call it, Mizuno Wave Ignitus. There's other shoes out there too. We have the Predator LZ, the Copa, which is more along the lines of a traditional shoe. We have the Puma King Finale SL and a Vapor here. Every single one of these shoes, you're still going to be able to strike the ball. While they will offer different feels when striking the ball, none of them is going to make you strike the ball better or more efficiently. If you guys actually want to see a test side by side, like a real good comparison of all the power boots on the market and see which one's actually the most powerful, I'll leave an annotation right here if you want to check that out. It's got a radar gun and everything. Go ahead and see that if you haven't seen it already. Really, really informative. But just know that whatever shoes are on your feet, it really doesn't matter. It's all about technique rather than the shoes. Alright guys, the first thing that you want to take note of when you're going to strike the ball is your approach. Everybody kind of has their own style as far as how they approach the ball, from what angle, from how far away they need to be to actually get a good shot off. And like I said, everyone's different. You kind of have to develop your own preference. One of the more notable guys is probably Cristiano Ronaldo, who I'm sure you've seen places the ball down, takes a couple of long strides back and then one to the left. And that's kind of his own way of knowing that he's exactly the same distance from the ball every single time. So his approach to the ball is going to be the same, so he's more likely to hit a consistent shot or the same shot over and over again. And that's basically what you have to kind of feel out yourself. It's good to place the ball, and depending on how strong you are, how confident you are as to how much room you actually need or how long of a run up, that's really up to you. I personally don't like to run up too far. That's about as far as I would normally go just from hitting a dead ball. And while the ball's moving, that's a little bit different as well. You kind of want to catch up to the ball. I'll go over that in another video if you guys want to see that. Just let me know in the comments down below. But that's pretty much it as far as the approach goes. Just find out where you're comfortable. Generally, if you're right-footed, you want to stand back and a little bit to the left. Or if you're left-footed, you want to step back and a little bit to the right. Going at the ball straight on is going to be the most difficult for you. Alright guys, the next thing that you want to take note of when you're going to strike the ball is your plant foot. And that, whether you be left-footed or right-footed, if you're a right-footed shot, generally your plant foot's your left foot. It always is your left foot. And if you're a left-footed shot, your right foot's your plant foot. And that's really, really important as to when you're striking the ball, because if your plant foot's too far behind the ball or too far ahead of the ball, you're going to have a difficult time and you're not going to strike the ball as clean as you might like. Generally, if you're too far behind the ball, you catch the ball a little bit underneath and it goes up, and if you're too far ahead of the ball, you hit the top of the ball and it kind of just bounces, and it's somewhat of an embarrassing shot most of the time. But your plant foot's really, really important, and again, it's more of a comfort thing. Some people are dead on center with the ball, which is technically what you're supposed to be. So your ankle should be almost parallel to the middle of the ball. If you guys see here, I'm going to show it up a little bit closer as they shoot the ball, but it's a little bit different. Sometimes I see a lot of people shoot slightly ahead of the ball and some are slightly behind. Everyone has their own style. It's a matter of getting comfortable with it. As far as how close you should be to the ball, generally it's a couple of inches. and that's all you should need. Again, just practice makes perfect, and as soon as you can get that same plant and you're comfortable with the same plant and you can hit it over and over again, that's when you're going to get consistency in your shot. Alright guys, the next thing to take into consideration is what part of your foot you're striking the ball with. Given that we're just driving the ball with the laces, or this is basically the laces shot, you're going to be wanting to hit the ball generally right in this area. You have a big hard bone running along the inside of your foot here, and that's the spot where you want to hit the ball. I have a pair of T90 lasers on here, mainly because it's a very good demonstrative shoe, because you have this kind of big slab of rubber right there, and that's generally exactly where you want to hit the ball. To have kind of the maximum amount of power, or to get the cleanest strike on the ball. So right about there is where you want to be striking the ball. You can notice that there's a very hard bone. It shouldn't hurt if you have proper technique, and that's pretty much what you want to do. Alright guys, now that you know where you're hitting the ball, which is pretty much on this area of the shoe, that hard bone, it's very important as to where you hit the actual ball with your foot. And generally when you're striking the ball straight on, you want to be hitting the ball slightly below the center. So just right below, I'll show you guys a different camera angle a little bit later, but you want to hit the ball right there and strike right through, so that very hard bone on your foot, like I was talking about, is striking right through the ball, and that's generally where you're going to generate the most of your power and have that straight shot. Alright, well here's a different camera angle so you can see exactly where you want to be striking the ball. Generally right in this position with your ankle slightly angled, your foot slightly angled, and you're hitting just under the ball. Hopefully you guys can see that, and that's pretty much where you want to strike it. Alright guys, there's a couple of key things when you're actually going to strike the ball, and that's the leg swing. The first thing to take note of is to be loose on the ball. Be a little bit relaxed, don't be too stiff, because that's kind of the main thing with any kind of element of soccer, is to be loose, be relaxed. Because when you're really stiff on the ball and your plant leg is straight and your kicking leg is straight, you have very poor balance, you have really bad range of motion, and it's just not good. But if you actually loosen up a little bit, bend your plant leg ever so slightly at the knee, bend your kicking leg at the knee ever so slightly, you have much better range of motion, much better balance, and overall you're going to have a much easier time striking the ball. The next thing that you want to be aware of is the actual knee bend itself. You're not ever kicking the ball from the knee, so your knee's never swinging through when you're actually striking the ball. All of the swinging's happening at the hip. So when your knee's a little bit bent, and once you lift your leg, your knee should be locked completely as you strike the ball through, and like I said, everything's bending from the hip. That's exactly what you want to do. And then as far as your ankle goes, you really have to angle your ankle at the sufficient angle when striking the ball. Again, that comes through practice and stuff. There's no exact angle it should be at, and there's really nothing that I can tell you that's going to kind of give you that precise angle. It's really a trial and error thing. But just notice that once you plant your foot, your knee's bent a little bit, you've started your swing, your ankle should already be bent, then you swing your leg through and your ankle should be locked, and then you can strike right through the ball, and it should be a smooth motion just like this. Alright guys, when you're going to actually strike the ball, there's two very important things that you should take note of, and that is the position of your upper body and where you're looking when you're striking the ball. The first thing is your upper body. You hear a lot of people say get over the ball when you strike it, and what they mean by that is when you actually go to strike the ball, your chest should be just about parallel to the ball. So exactly down to the ground, your chest should be slightly above the ball, and the reason for that is that your follow through is not going to allow the ball to go up. You want the ball to kind of stay low. That doesn't necessarily mean that the ball is going to not leave the ground, but it's going to stay low or below the crossbar in this case when you're actually striking the ball. Generally, if your chest should be just like that, parallel. You shouldn't be too straight, because that's generally going to mean that the ball is going to go up a little bit more. And if you're leaning back like a goalkeeper would, or somebody sending a long ball, generally the ball goes really high up, which is generally what you don't want when you're striking the ball. So just keep your chest above the ball, and it should look something like this. And the ball's going to stay low. The next thing that you want to take note of is actually where you're looking when you're striking the ball. What's very important, and what's a really common mistake when striking the ball, is that people are looking at their target as they strike the ball. They don't have their eyes on the ball, and that's super important when you're striking, is to be looking exactly at the ball. Obviously you want to aim during your approach, so that's kind of like it's a practice thing again. So as you're approaching the ball, that's where you want to look where you're striking the ball. But as you're about to strike it, you want to be looking at the ball, and you should already know where you're hitting it. So as you strike the ball, you're looking exactly at it, and then once you followed through and the ball has left your foot, that's generally when you should look up. And then to have a good idea of if you strike the ball correctly, generally if you're inside the 18-yard box or so, by the time you look up, the ball should already be in the net. The last thing that you should be concerned about when you're striking the ball is your follow through. It's very, very important to have a really clean follow through and swing your leg even after the ball has left your foot. That's going to make sure that the ball is not losing any kind of momentum and you're getting all of the power that you could possibly need when you're striking the ball. Generally, as a rule of thumb, when you're striking the ball with the laces, it's that a higher follow through means the ball is going to go higher, and a lower follow through means the ball is going to stay low. So depending on how you want to actually shoot the ball, high or low, that's how your follow through should change. Again, it's all about smoothness here, so make sure that you are keeping a really smooth follow through and striking through the ball as it leaves your foot. It shouldn't be a choppy thing like this. A lot of people tend to stab their foot at the ball and kind of stop it on the ground, or the foot hits the ground. Your foot shouldn't be hitting the ground. You should be hitting the ball and following right through. As far as aiming the ball is concerned, it's really important to be able to hit that straight on ball. When you're practicing free kicks or just striking the ball in general, if you can hit that middle of the net consistently with a straight line drive ball, then it's just a matter of switching your body position to aim either to the left or to the right. So I'm just going to take a couple of strikes and just show you guys in full speed just how it should look if you're striking the ball properly. Alright, I've slowed down some footage of me striking the ball so you guys can get a better idea of where the plant foot should be and the whole follow through thing. So you guys see right from there, this is the side view. You see where my foot was planted, you see the follow through, how you should land after you strike the ball. Obviously my technique, I wouldn't call it exactly perfect, but it's pretty good, and it's a pretty good thing to base the foot. Again, watch the foot plant, my ankle's slightly in front of the center of the ball, and the follow through is very smooth and very clean. Your run up to the ball shouldn't be very choppy either. Here's a view from the back so you guys can see, again, the foot plants, the ball goes, and see how the ball has that straight trajectory? That's what you want when you're striking the ball with the laces. Again, if you can get that ball straight right down the middle, that's exactly what you want. Then it's just a matter of aiming your hips to kind of be more accurate. Then here's kind of a super slow-mo of a side view. Just watch the whole technique. You can really see the foot plant here, and you can really see a clean follow through and a clean leg swing. All the swinging is from the hip, and then it's a clean follow through. You can see that my follow through actually lifts my left leg off of the ground a little bit, and that's how it should be done. Alright guys, well that's kind of the basics of striking the ball. It's very, very important to kind of practice this technique. It's not something that you're going to master overnight. It really takes repetition, 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 and until you can consistently perform the same shot over and over again, that's really, you're never going to need to stop practicing your shot. It's just a really important part of the game, and shooting the ball really is kind of a big skill, very important skill in soccer. It kind of plays a part in your passing and everything, and your overall ability to handle the ball. So like I said, repetition is going to be your friend here. You need to practice as much as possible and kind of mastering, kind of finding the technique that works for you, and that's really how you're going to get the best possible strike. Hopefully these tips in this video will give you some major pointers into getting a better strike, a more clean strike. And let me know in the comments of other particular strikes you do want to see. Obviously today I showed the laces strike, so again, let me know in the comments what you want to see. And as always guys, thanks for watching.